It is time. It's time to breathe again on the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. So, I got Patrick with me, and I got a special guest with me. Everybody say hello to Courtney Ward.
Hey, Courtney.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So, you see all of us in our jerseys, in our college football jerseys, because, well, this is our college football shows. And for those of y'all who have checked out the show before, y'all know around this time we represent wearing our jerseys the teams that we like. And now it's that time. So, we are going to get started with the SEC. Now, Courtney, we normally, when it comes down to doing these reviews, we start with the team or the conference that championship team came out of. And since Alabama won, that is, of course, the SEC. So we will start there today. And I guess we'll start in the Western Division since that's the division Alabama is in. Now, I'll start with you, Courtney. Do you think there is anybody in the West that could potentially knock off the Crimson Tide and be in that SEC championship
Honestly, no.
game?
I mean, there's always going to be a chance of, some crazy upset, something happens, some injury, but I think at the end of the day, it's still going to be Alabama.
Yeah, what you got, Patrick?
Well, I mean, I got three teams that could possibly knock them off. Don't get me wrong. Alabama is going to be stacked. They reload every year very well. They're recruiting top five again this year. I think they're second this year. So with that being said, I think Texas A&M can knock them off. I think Auburn can knock them off, and I think LSU can knock them off. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying they're going to, but I think that's three teams that could definitely give them a run for their money, especially going, when you get later into the season and it means a little more to Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M could probably knock them off. But I think at the end of the day, I probably still got Alabama.
Yeah, so with A&M and LSU in particular, we know LSU always has a stacked roster. They have as much talent as anybody in the nation year after year. Quarterback is the thing that always seems to hold them back, and I think it's pretty much the same story for Texas A&M since they have to replace Kellen Mond.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can get the quarterback play, then yeah, that makes them tough to deal with against a team like Alabama. A&M does have Alabama coming there to College Station, so that's something that you could look at in terms of a head-to-head matchup. I think LSU goes to Tuscaloosa this year.
They do.
And then Auburn, yeah, Auburn can have a solid team too. Alabama goes there too this year. Uh, with Auburn, I think they got a new head coach, Brian Hartson. They got him coming in, so they got to see how that system goes in with Bo Nix coming in there for his junior year. It seems like Bo Nix has been there forever. I thought he was a 6-year senior, but
Dude, I say the same thing about Tennessee's quarterback. I swear to God, he's been there for 20 years, dude.
right? It's like, where's all this eligibility coming from?
I swear to God, dude, have you not graduated yet? You're 40.
So yeah, I mean that. Oh, watch Ole Miss too. Yeah, so I think Ole Miss is going to be pretty interesting because they can score. They shoot it out. I think they put 48 points on Alabama last year. But
Yeah, but
yeah,
how many points did Alabama put on them?
well, we know Ole Miss doesn't have. Of course, Patrick.
Just shoot out.
Yes. I think it was 63-48 that game. And the if Ole Miss can get the defense, maybe Lane Kiffin is in there. He's recruiting more toward defense because he's going to keep it offense. So I think they can kind of come in there and be that team that can kind of mess up a couple of people's seasons if they have those higher aspirations of trying to get to the conference championship game or something. But I say all that And I'm with y'all. Yes, Alabama, I still say is gonna be the team probably coming out. I don't really see anything holding them back. The defense will probably keep things uh it'll keep things good for them until the offense starts to catch up from losing all those players that they did last year.
Hmm.
So, well, all right, since we agree with Alabama coming out, let's go over to the East. And I think I'm just gonna pick Florida just because. No, I'm just playing.
You
Um,
punch.
just
Don't
playing.
get much. Don't get much online.
You gonna mush me, Patrick. You gonna
I
mush me
will
on
miss
the
you. Right? Don't mess up.
All right. Well, let's go over to the East. And all right, Patrick. So I see, of course, you're wearing the Georgia jersey. So I'll just ask you, okay, besides Kentucky, that messing up your season, what team could potentially what team could potentially mess Georgia's track up? Do you see Florida perhaps rising up, or
Well, I mean, Florida with their preseason rank as 13. I mean, I think that's pretty justifiable for them. I know they lost. I know they lost their quarterback, half of their um, offense, and several key players on their defense, but they recruited very well as well. So, I mean, I think Florida is going to give us a hard time, but they always do, especially with the biggest party in the world.
cocktail party, baby?
Cocktail party, baby. But us being top five, that really definitely has me worried with Kentucky because Kentucky tends to beat us every time we're ranked higher than sixth. Um, I mean, South Carolina is going to be a lot better this year than they were last year. I think Tennessee's probably going to be a lot better. I don't know how much better either one of those teams are going to be, and Vanderbilt is Vanderbilt. So I think it's Kentucky and Florida that I'm really worried about, and probably that Auburn game as well.
Deep South's oldest rivalry. Yep, and y'all go to Auburn this year too. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that kind of has me unnerved a little bit, but I think JT Daniels is probably going to be fine. I think he'll run the offense quite well. Um, so I just hope we get Clemson, and I think after that, I think things will kind of start falling into place for Georgia. So.
all right, Courtney, what say you?
I'm gonna have to agree with Patrick on that one. I think Georgia is gonna come out tough. Um, and I agree on. I think Florida could potentially toss things up. Um, I can't say that I'm well versed in Kentucky, not like your rivalry with this deep seated losing, but
It drives me crazy. It drives me crazy.
no, but I mean, Georgia, your defense is obviously there, and all your pieces are looking strong for this year. So I think you're gonna have a good season.
I like it. I like it.
Yes, no, Georgia is loaded. A lot of their people did return, and JT Daniels coming in there. I think the quarterback position is in good hands. That I I know we have said this in years prior, Patrick, but this is about as good as a chance as Georgia has had in a while. Yes, they got the game with Clemson. I like your chances against Clemson. I honestly think y'all can beat Clemson if I had to pick. But in the SEC, yeah, the game with Auburn, that's always a tough one. Yeah, the Kentucky one and Kentucky. So with Kentucky, they have a good offensive and defensive line. They are really tough in the trenches. So even more so than even normal years where Kentucky will be unranked and be 3-6 and then just rise up and beat Georgia. Kentucky,
And
Kentucky
one of
has
those
a good,
weekends in Georgia.
but Kentucky has a squad. They have improved drastically. But yeah, I do think it is between those three teams: Georgia, Florida, Kentucky, South Carolina. I think they're still a little young. They got a new coach in there too. Tennessee is in transition. Missouri, yeah, and then you got and then you got Vanderbilt. I mean, Missouri. I mean, they'll have an offense probably, but their defense isn't that great. And yeah, I got Alabama, Georgia SEC championship game as well, and then we will see after that. I won't pick it, but
Oh, we got to save that for later.
of course, of course. Well, then let's go to the next conference. So we will slide on over to the ACC, and we'll start. All right. I think the ACC is pretty easy because I'm pretty sure all three of us do not see anybody beating Clemson in that conference. So, so I'll just ask: is there anybody, not just only in the Atlantic Division, which I guess Clemson is playing in, but in the ACC in general, can North Carolina potentially rise up? What about Vatech? Um, Miami. Okay, I'm gonna say no to Miami, but is there anybody else that could potentially rise up and take Clemson down? Do y'all see that? We'll start with you, Courtney. My bad.
I think if anybody's gonna do it, I would take North Carolina to do it. I can't say I see that happening, but I do think they're gonna have a good season, and that they could potentially have the tools. We'll just see how they execute.
Yeah. What about you, Patrick? What you see
I,
anybody?
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like North Carolina. I don't like Miami personally. I think neither one of them recruited well. They neither one have an offense that I would be like they can put up some points. No, I'm Virginia Tech, man. I like them far better than anybody, and I still don't even see them beating Clemson. But I would go with Virginia Tech because at least they have an experienced quarterback that can carry them through, opposed to what Miami's bringing or North Carolina. North Carolina though. I would have to say is an interesting team. Very interesting in the fact that their defense is going to be stout, but it's not going to matter if you can hold if you hold your opponent to 14 points, but your offense can't score three. What does it matter? You know what I mean? I do like that North Carolina defense, but I think the team that would have a better chance of beating Clemson would be Virginia Tech.
With North Carolina, it depends on the day because there are days that it does, man. Because there are some days I remember.
It's
So
like
when they played
Atlanta.
Miami, well, when they played Miami last year, they put up 62 points on them. Now I get it; it's Miami, and we none of us think Miami is good, but but I mean, they North Carolina is capable of scoring on them, and Mac Brown. I mean, Matt Brown's a good coach, and I know the tenure in Texas did not end well. I get it. I know. What I think happened, looking back on it, is boosters got in the way, and he wanted to please boosters. It took away from the product on the field, and honestly, we have not recovered since. More on that in a minute when we get on the Big 12. But because I can rant all day about that. But
Oh, I know you can. You have.
but um Virginia Tech is interesting because they're that team that could go 11-1 or 4-8, just depending on
Oh,
how
1-11.
yes. And another team that I'll give y'all to watch is NC State. NC State has a good defense. They're not going to be scared of Clemson. Doesn't mean they're going to beat Clemson, of course, but they do have them coming to rally. As I think the Wolfpack will be ready there. Other than that, yeah, I mean, because Florida State, they seem like they're years away from being back to the Florida State we grew up with, the stronger team they were back in the day.
Like 12 years away.
Huh?
Like 12 years away and three coaches.
Yes, yeah.
Getting there anytime soon. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Florida State has a while to go, and the same with Miami. I know they got the quarterback, De'Aaron King, but I don't know. Miami. So they they play Alabama on Saturday, and I see them getting shellacked there. We got to find a spread for that. If it's 35 and a half, I'm taking the over, man. We'll go ahead and
Right.
get some money.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be no 35 and a half. I'm thinking more like double nickel.
That's going to be the line. 55 points, huh?
And that 55 points will happen in the first 3 minutes of the game. Done. And then Alabama will have their fifth string in there by the third minute of the game. Fifth string.
So it's going to be going 45-0 at halftime. Is that where we're going with this match?
55-0 at the end of the first half. Yeah, sounds about right.
So we had a comment. Who's this? Greetings from Delaware. So I was looking at it. I guess this is from Twitch. Thanks for joining the show. Let's see. We got the Big 12 next, since we're all in agreement that Clemson is gonna come out of the ACC. And oh yeah, one more. Patrick, help me remember. So is Notre Dame in there? Are they in their conference, or they're back to independent this year?
They're back to their independent. It was just a 1-year deal last year, just because nobody in the independent played.
All right.
Which is sad, because I don't know if you saw how much money Notre Dame made last year.
Oh, they made a lot. Absolutely.
A ton. And that's even after they gave up half of their money to the ACC. They still made a lot of money. They made more money than they gave out last year. So I'm sitting here wondering why they're back in the independent and not in the ACC, because I'm like, as much money as y'all made. I mean, dude, several million, dude, last year. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
And then they go back to independent. Ugh.
And then they go back to the independent like, oh, we're going to make so much more money because our football team is.
The contract with NBC, man. You know how they.
Look, it's as simple. Look at Texas and what they're fixing to give up. They're fixing to give up the Longhorn Network just so that they can join the SEC, and they're going to make a crap ton of money off of it, more than they're making off of the Longhorn Network.
Well, I can tell you, look, you're going to lose viewers if you continue to show reruns of the Rose Bowl game from 2005, because we haven't done anything since then. You're going to lose viewers. You're going to lose viewers. So, speaking of Texas and the Big 12, let's get to the Big 12. And so, of course, with the Big 12 structure, it is the first couple of teams, whoever has the better record within the conference, they're the ones who are in the Big 12 championship game. So, for this one, we'll start with you, Patrick. What do you see coming out of the Big 12 this year? Is it, as a lot of people are saying out here on our media waves, Oklahoma and everybody else? Or are we rising up? Is Texas Tech rising up? Is Iowa State rising up? Who you got, Patrick? Who you got?
I got Oklahoma and Iowa State. Iowa State is, I mean, personally, I mean, if you want me to pick, I think Iowa State's a better team than Oklahoma is. Truthfully, I mean, I think Oklahoma is a great team, and in the things that in the positions that they lost last year due to the draft, I don't really know how well they recruited. I do know that they were in the top 10, but they weren't in the top 5.
Well, they always keep offense. It's defense.
Yeah, they always keep offense. But the thing is that Iowa State, man, they got a defense this year. They do have a defense this year. So, I mean, I like Iowa State a lot better than Oklahoma. I do. And I mean, I think it's going to be Oklahoma versus Iowa State, personally.
So, head-to-head matchups in there. I think Iowa State comes to Norman. So, yeah, they go to Oklahoma in November. And, of course, you got us playing Oklahoma in the Red River Shootout. You know, I'm going to call Oklahoma Texas North. That's what I'm calling them. I'm calling them Texas North because...
You're trying to get your boy on here, aren't you?
Hey, you know what? Cool. If he Exactly. Because now, Courtney, real quick. So I'm gonna tell you a story. Now, the dude that we're talking about, he's also a Kansas City fan.
Okay.
And when the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl, we really had to put a missing persons report out for him. He didn't show up on the show for 8 months.
Whew.
And yeah. So I'm like, where he at, man? What happened? His team loses and he goes away? No, can't have that.
He
Oh,
disappeared, and he knows we're talking about college football, so he ain't showing up today either.
he's not. Nope, he's not gonna do it. But yeah, they're Texas North because Courtney knows it. I know it. You probably know it too, Patrick. Oklahoma gets 85-90% of their roster from the state of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Texas North. So you know what? Actually, so I'll say this: if they do win it, that's a title for us too. Yay!
There you go.
We got two chances.
Well, do I get to say that if Florida wins in baseball?
Yep.
Fair enough. Okay.
I can't sit there and play by my own rules just by myself. Those rules.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, Florida and South Carolina, they always take Georgia up there and down there. I mean, Florida's entire infield last year was from Georgia.
Yep. So there you go.
And 3 of their pitchers. Just saying.
There you go. You call them Georgia South.
I'll call them Georgia South.
Oh man, Courtney, what do you have for the Big 12? What do you see?
So I also am taking OU and Iowa State, but I don't think it's OU versus everybody else. I think, we've got talented teams, yours included, and we've got teams that are scrappy and always, it could go either way to either throw off that title game or throw off somebody's football playoff picture. But I think OU definitely, to me, has the easiest conference schedule of anybody because the only good team that they play on the road is OSU, and everybody else basically comes to them that means anything for their year. So they've got that on their side, and it'll probably go their way because of it. I mean, I'm not throwing Texas Tech in the title game. I wish I could, but I gotta be honest, I can't do it. we're years away. And a couple coaches, like Patrick said.
Texas Tech, y'all, I think Texas Tech can be sneaky good because same thing. Texas Tech always has an offense.
Mm-hmm.
It's always just a matter of whether or not they can get pass rush. Really, linebackers are pretty solid. Line and the secondary, those are the questions.
Right.
And if they can get one of those to step up and provide something, they're going to score with anybody. So I mean, they're very, very dangerous. But you know how it is.
Definitely can, and we do make a lot of close games. It just doesn't seem like we're in the spot that comes down to converting wins. We can give you a good game is where we're at right now. But I mean, maybe this Oregon QB is gonna just light it up. We'll see.
Yes, the transfer. Yep. Mm-hmm. So the Big 12. I'm with you on that, Courtney. It is tougher than most years, as has been. What's up, Patrick?
Who's the? I know what's the transfer's name. He's from Florida, right?
He's from Oregon. It's Tyler Schaff.
I think so. Yes, I saw it today too. Yeah, I think it's Tyler Stroff or something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, but yeah, he's from Oregon. He started for them last year, split time with their 5th, 6th year senior last year in the Fiesta Bowl. Had a good year for him. Should be good for us.
You said Tyler Stroff?
Yes.
He's from Arizona.
Okay. Yeah. So he went to high school there. Yeah, he transferred from. Yeah. He transferred from Oregon, and I guess he was there for I guess 3 years.
Oh.
Was it that 2 or 3 years or whatever? And
You
then
said for 3 years. Okay, I know. I had to pull him up. I was after I saw his face. I was like, "Oh, that kid. That kid's good."
So
Good
Texas,
pickup, man. Good pickup.
Texas Tech is gonna score, man, and like I think the Big 12 it is more competitive than it has been in recent years. Oklahoma State, they're gonna be solid. You mentioned Texas Tech, they're gonna be solid. Iowa State, we expect them to be good. And then with us, we got Steve Sarkisian in there. You know, we never lack for talent. We always have talent. It's just a matter of whether or not we can put it together. As a matter of fact, Patrick, I have every bit of confidence, and Courtney, I have every bit of confidence we will beat Oklahoma in the shootout. And then we'll turn around and get beat by West Virginia or somebody, and then there goes our spot. So, I will say it is hard. I will say it is hard not to see Texas North and Iowa State down here in AT&T Stadium for the Big 12 title game, but it would not surprise me if Texas or perhaps Oklahoma State, Kansas State, they're another one. Kansas State is always tough, always, no matter what year it is, they always have a defense and some scrambling quarterback that will rise up and beat somebody. And Kansas State done beaten Oklahoma 3 years in a row, I think. So, it's not that Oklahoma is so much better than everybody else. I think they just have that situational awareness, if you want to call it that, where they get the wins where they really have to have them, and then bam, they win the Big 12, and then they perhaps get into the playoffs where they get smashed by said SEC team. So we'll see.
Exactly.
So, all right, well, let's go over to the Pac-12. I'm going to leave the Big 10 for last because, I mean, it's the Big 10. And
where they're at. That's where they should be.
Yeah, and I don't, no one's probably beating Ohio State, but more on that in a minute, I guess. In the Pac-12, this conference is pretty interesting because me personally, I don't really know where to go with this one. Oregon won it last year, and we know that the season was cut down because of COVID. They only played 6 games, 5 games, depending on how many games got canceled. But Oregon ended up winning it last year. So do y'all see Oregon winning it again this year? Or is it one of those things where someone from the Pac-12 South can arise? We'll start with you on this one, Courtney.
I probably see Oregon taking it again. I think USC could come in hot and have a good year. Former Texas Tech product is their OC.
Oh yes. All right. So Courtney, Patrick is a very known USC hater. I don't like USC that much either. But yeah, you're right. They do have a Texas Tech offensive coordinator who came there. So Courtney has a soft spot for that. I understand why.
Understandable. Still don't like them, but understandable.
Okay.
Oh man. So Patrick, what do you see?
Does it matter?
Yes, Patrick, or I wouldn't have asked you.
But it doesn't matter. It's the Pac-12.
Patrick, make a pick for the show.
It landed on Stanford. Who cares? No, I'd probably go with Oregon just because. Who else are you going to go with? I mean,
Washington can sneak up.
Washington can score, but they can't stop anybody from scoring. Arizona, I mean, they're I guess they're a good team, or they wouldn't be ranked right now.
I think both of the Arizona teams are like being investigated for sanctions because
well, then that's going to disappear here pretty soon, and they're probably going to lose NIL rules and all that stuff.
Well, Arizona has Kevin Sumlin, and it seems like everywhere Kevin Sumlin goes, they might start off good, and then it's just the bottom falls out. Like it's
this is the reason why he stays in the Pac-12.
And Arizona State, Herm Edwards and his coaching staff, they're being investigated for what the impermissible benefits.
Oh, God. See, Herm, listen, bro. Let me tell you something, Herm. You cannot bring to Arizona what you did in Indianapolis. That's the reason why. That's the reason why you got fired. Everybody thinks you quit, but I know you got fired. Talking to Herm Edwards, man. I know you got fired.
Well, Herm never coached Indy.
I thought where did he coach before?
So he was the coach of the Jets, and he coached the Chiefs for a little bit.
Chiefs, that's what I meant.
Tony Dungy coached Indy.
Tony Dungy, that's who I was thinking of. Well, if Arizona is going through what they're going through right now, and the whole state is going through that, well, take them off the list because they ain't gonna matter in about 3 weeks when all the shit hits the fan at that point. So I mean, I guess Oregon, mostly because they got really cool uniforms.
Yeah, so you're going with the style.
I'm
like
going
it.
style. Go with the style.
Oregon goes to Ohio State next week. So I want to see what Oregon can do there. Be tough to win in Columbus, but that would tell a lot about what we think Oregon can do in terms of maybe being that Pac-12 team that could potentially rise up, because the Pac-12 is the forgotten conference. I mean, it is. When it comes to the college football playoff, I don't think they haven't had anybody in there since Washington. Yeah, Washington went in 2016, and that was it for the Pac-12.
I don't even remember that.
I know Oregon went the first year the college football playoff happened.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Pac-12, forgotten conference. I like Oregon to win it too. I think the Pac-12 South could be interesting because I like Utah. Utah always seems to have one of those teams that are just kind of solid. They're going to play good defense. They're going to have a good running game. You know how it is when you have those two things. You can go out there, you can win any game you play if you can run the football and play good defense. It's just a matter of whether or not they can score enough. Probably, I'll look for UCLA maybe to do something too. Chip Kelly back there, starting to get that offense going again. Now it's not like how he was trying to run it in Oregon, but but hey, UCLA could rise up. They play LSU this first week, so that'll be an interesting game to try to catch laid out there on the West Coast. I mean, I look for LSU to win that game, of course, but hey.
Better.
Wouldn't be good for the SEC if that happened. Huh?
I would be mad if LSU loses that game. Oh, by the way, Courtney, I am a huge Georgia Bulldog fan. That's my team first. But out of conference, I get mad when my conference loses. So when Texas and Oklahoma come over and if they lose out of conference, I'm pissed. Just so you know.
All right.
Because I need my conference to stay strong, because when my conference is strong, that's when the Pac-12 gets forgotten and we put two SEC teams in the playoffs.
I'm like that for the Big 12. Unless it's Oklahoma.
You gotta have Oklahoma.
That's fine. It's okay. They can be there. No, I'm still not rooting for Oklahoma. I don't care. They can play
Northern Texas now.
Yes, they are, and I still will not root for them because I know
you have boundaries.
Yeah, I know underneath Texas North what they really are. So I will nope, cannot root for Oklahoma. Can't do it. Nope, I refuse. Nope. Can't do
Texas North, you will not root for Texas North.
I will not root for Texas North. No.
Hey,
but I will claim it if they win the title as Texas North. Yes.
You should make your own jersey.
Yeah.
There you go. You should.
Yes, I sure
Make
will.
make your own jersey and wear it when they win.
All I need is some tape and marker, and we're good.
So we're just making a special ed jersey. Is that what we're doing?
There, yeah, that's right. Yep. Write it in. Yep. We'll go ahead. We'll
Texas
spray paint.
North.
We'll spray paint the Longhorn signal over the red helmet. Yep.
I can see you putting in there Texas North, Norf.
Yeah. Yeah. North. Yeah. Love it.
Where is your boy at, man? This is good comedy jokes, and he's not even here to take it.
I know, man, because yeah, he knew what time it was, and like he
Yeah.
wanted to sit there. No, you know what happened, Patrick? You chased him away. I'm giving you the credit for chasing him away, because when you made that rule, nothing past 2005.
Or when I told him Georgia has undefeated against OU,
Yeah.
1-0.
Yeah.
But with that, yeah, he's gone. He's gone after that.
When you
Understand?
when you told him, when you said, "No, man, if it didn't happen after 2005, man, it's irrelevant. We gotta go." And you saw how mad he got on the comments. 2005, huh? Because Oklahoma hadn't won a title since 2000, so he had to go away. He knew it.
Yeah. Texas North.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm gonna call that. For now, when I text you and I go, "Hey, man, Texas North is not winning the game," that's where I'm gonna put it right there.
And I'm gonna respond right back like, "Yup." Yeah. I do something stuck from this show. Now we're calling it Texas North. Yes. So, hey, y'all. So before we move on, I don't think we'll spend too much time on the Big Ten, because is anybody really beating Ohio State from that conference? And honestly, yeah.
Michigan.
You can't even say that with a straight face. I knew it.
I only said that because I rode high with them like for 2 years, almost 3 years, dude. I was like, man, Michigan, this is Michigan's year right here, and then they get smashed by OU. I'm like,
I'm with you, Patrick. I hope somebody can rise up, but I mean, you look at the teams: Michigan, no; Penn State, no; Michigan State, they got a new coach that's in his second year, so he's trying to build the team back up. Wisconsin, we know
maybe.
Wisconsin is they just don't have the skill players, man. I mean, they always have a solid team in terms of running the football. They can bring some defense, but when it comes to playing those, I mean, Ohio State or even Penn State, they don't have the athletes, the playmakers, I guess, to sit there and go at it with those teams. So, Courtney, look, hey, can you give us some hope?
Pick somebody to beat.
I wish I could. I wish that I strongly felt somebody was gonna do it. I think Wisconsin. I agree with you. They are a solid, good team each year, but they just aren't converting that into anything besides us saying they're a solid team. They're not actually bringing those upsets into consistent winning.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So do you think that it's going to be Ohio State versus Wisconsin in the Big 12 or Big 10 championship?
I think it could. I think they're good enough that they could get to that game, but I don't think it's going to be any contest once they're there.
Yeah, it'd be between Wisconsin and Iowa.
I'm about to cry because I have to put up with this crappy team again.
Right.
Ohio State's, Wisconsin and Iowa, that's about it from that other division that would be in there, but they're pretty much the same. They run the ball well, going to play some good defense, but when it comes to playing Ohio State, the playmakers, you do need playmakers. You need those athletes to sit there and put them over the top, and until that happens, There's nobody who's gonna rise up and beat them. I mean, I look, Patrick, I'm with you. I'm gonna buy me a Michigan jersey, and I'm going to try to just talk it into existence, but it won't happen.
Dude, dude, I pray to Jesus every time that game comes on. I'm like, please, Jesus, just let somebody beat them. I mean, just let them
Yeah.
lose.
Well,
And Jesus is like, I promise you, sometimes I think Jesus is an OU fan. I'm like, Jesus, please. And he's like, that's my team. That's the reason why they're in the conference. See, Courtney, we were talking about cupcakes before the show came on, right?
Yeah.
That's all OU eats is cupcakes all season. And I swear to God, it's like every time I look at OU, I'm like, oh wow, they played last week, but they got a bye week this week. I'm like, why do you need 6 bye weeks in a year? Because they're playing Michigan next week. I don't get it. I mean, it was like cupcake after cupcake after cupcake, and then they might get a brownie just to change things up, but then it's back to cupcake. And like, they should be a bunch of fat kids. But no, they win every year.
so
Sad.
so since we're in agreement, Ohio State is not going to get beaten in the Big Ten by anybody. Um, let's look at these group of 5 teams. So really, I'm just going to ask y'all which. Okay, we know when it comes to the college football playoffs, it is going to be Power Five conferences all over the place. And your group of 5 conference teams really don't have a shot. They know going in, they probably do not have a shot to win the national championship. So their biggest thing is to win their conference. But if there is one of these teams that are going to rise up, and I'll start with you, Patrick, on this one. What, which team? Is it Cincinnati, Boise State?
Cincinnati, no doubt. Cincinnati is just the better team out of all of those top 5, I guess. They're the better team. They're going to bring a more top 5 or a Power 5 conference type offense and defense. That's about the closest you're going to get is Cincinnati. Cincinnati is, in their own rights and in their respected positioning where they're at. They're probably the best team that's in there.
What say you, Courtney?
I agree with Patrick. Cincy, I think, would be the top out of that.
Yeah, Cincinnati. So they are ranked 10th to start the year. They have games on the road at Indiana and at Notre Dame. And so if they can be, especially that Notre Dame game, if they can go there and beat Notre Dame and then go undefeated through, what are they, the American Athletic Conference, if they can go undefeated through there. I mean, I would like to say, and maybe this happens when the playoff gets expanded, because it's going to get expanded.
Yes. I was actually going to bring that up after you got done, but since you're going to bring that
up. So, I mean, if that happens, if and when that happens, then Cincinnati or UCF or Boise State, BYU, one of those teams. Now maybe they can get a shot in there just to see what they do. I could care less about the result, because everybody wants to say, well, if they played Alabama or they played Clemson, they would get smashed. I don't care. I just want them to get a shot. I just want to see what they can do. That's all I'm worried about, because those teams know going into the season, they're not going to have a chance to play for a national championship. They're going to do what they can to win their conference. Maybe they get in one of those New Year's Six bowls, whether that's whatever, take your pick, the Peach Bowl, Sugar Bowl, whatever, Fiesta Bowl, Rose, whichever one. But yeah, I want to see that. Hopefully it does expand. I know they were talking about 12 teams. I think 8 is probably the perfect number there. But if they do expand to 12, I mean, I think it would be interesting to see how they would break that down, who gets those buys, because 4 of those teams will get a buy. And so it would be really interesting to see that. But I'm with both of y'all too. Yeah, Cincinnati is well better positioned to make that push if they could get in there. But I just wanted to talk about it just to give them some love. I know they're not going to get there.
Look, like you said, man. Go ahead, Courtney. What'd you say?
Oh, I said he's right. They're not getting that love.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man, because Cincinnati is actually a really good team, and I would like to see them have an opportunity, just give a shot, and that's all I'm about. To give them an opportunity. You never know what they could. I mean, there has been teams coming in, like Coastal Carolina. Remember that? Remember those 2 years they came in and put a smackdown on the SEC team? Just saying. Raging Cajuns came in and done it a couple of times.
Hey, they might beat us on Saturday. Sorry.
They might. They could. I mean, they're good enough to do it, I guess. But I doubt they do.
We should beat them, but man, it's been rough years for us.
So I do like the fact that they are talking about an expansion of the playoffs, because if they do that, I don't think that they should go to 12. I think they should go to 8 and then just play it out from there. And then that would eliminate a lot of the confusion, because you could say 5 teams. We'll put the 5 winners of the conferences in there. Boop, 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 boop. There's 5 of them. 3 more opens, and we'll give that to a strong 6th team, whether that be another team in the Power 5 conference, and give it to the independents. Let them go. And then do what you said with the drawing. Just draw out a hat. Okay, y'all two play. Y'all two play. Y'all two play. Y'all two play. Go.
Good luck. Yep.
Don't even worry about rankings. Just you're the 8 best teams that are representing the SEC or the SEC. Jesus, let's just take everybody and put them in the SEC. You are the 8 best teams in college football. You should be able to handle your own. Go, fly, birdie, fly, and let them go.
Good. Courtney, are you good with 8 teams, or would you like to see 12? What's your magic number for that?
I think 8 is that sweet spot, and kind of go from there. See how that plays out for a couple of years, and then if it does need to go to 12, okay. But I think 8's a kind of perfect number.
Yep.
They are student athletes. Hence the word student first. They are student athletes. I mean, going to 12, I think, is a bit much, but if the NCAA, if they want to claim the way they are, student athlete is what they are. They're not athlete students.
But they are, Patrick.
And I know I'm trying to get you on a rant, so go.
They are athletic students, and the NCAA needs to reverse those. I'm telling you, Patrick, if they reverse those 2 words on their website, we're good. Because
that will go from 100% corrupt to like 95.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. All I ask, transparency. That's it. You are about the athletic student. That is what is bringing you all the money. Reverse those 2 words. That's it. And then I half of my ranting would go away about the NCAA if they just twist those 2 words around. 2, just that simple, 2 words.
You know what? You know what happened if they twist those 2 words around?
What?
I start ranting because they were liars.
Well,
so you knew you were wrong. Rant,
Patrick. That's your fault for believing them.
I don't believe them at all. I know that they are one of the top 5 most corrupt companies in all of the world.
Yeah, so the NCAA is tied with FIFA, the IOC, and then the IRS. You said the IRS.
The IRS.
Yeah. Courtney's like, yep.
You know what's funny is every time they're like, oh yeah, all 3 of those are definitely correct. IRS, like seriously, that's where you're gonna go from sports to that? And I don't. They are corrupt.
Well, the NCAA, man, because you know how it is, Patrick, and I'm sure you've seen this too, Courtney. They are not with this name, image, and likeness. The NCAA is like, all right, we'll just leave it up to the conferences now. They know they can't do anything. They can't do anything.
NCAA will not be around in about 4 years.
So
they're being dissolved. As soon as the Big 12 exits out, NCAA is going to be like, it'll get out right before them. Like we're out.
Oh man. Well, hey y'all. Since we have a few more minutes, man, let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of baseball. So we are heading in to the last month of the season. And
for October, baby.
Yes. And so
this is my year right here. I love this year. I love this month.
So I'll just ask, so starting with you, Courtney, what are you looking at for this last month? What teams are catching your eye? And what do you think is going to happen with the postseason? Do you think the Dodgers repeat?
I'm a big fan of seeing new blood and not seeing repeat, not seeing that Texas North every year, you know. So I would like to see somebody else.
I love how you threw that in.
North.
That's right.
Oh man. So if the Dodgers are going to get beat, who do you see that could rise up and knock them off?
Giants. Courtney, the Giants.
The Giants.
Yeah.
Giants are looking good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, the Dodgers are looking good for probably a repeat run, but I would love anybody to knock them off.
One more question for you. In the American League, everybody's hyping up the Yankees because they've gone on this hot streak.
What hot streak? What hot streak?
Dude, the Yankees have won 13 in a row. Before
they just lost their last 3.
Yeah, exactly. So before they lost their last 3, they had won 13 in a row.
Who's hyping them up? New York?
No. Well, you know how the media is. You know how it is. You know anything.
They like Ohio. They like Ohio State, and they like what's the other team I can't stand? USC. I like Notre Dame. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I saw a rap building. Sorry.
There was one building. What did you say, Courtney?
No. I said it's that Walmart bandwagon that's hyping up the Yankees.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what it is. I like that. Nobody should be hyping up the Yankees.
Tampa Bay, though. Like these Tampa Bay. I don't know what it is about them, but when we did the baseball preview earlier, so I had told Patrick, I said, Tampa Bay's making the playoffs. I don't know. I don't care if it's a wild card. I don't care if they're winning the division. I don't know, but they will be in there. Patrick's like, what makes you pick Tampa Bay? I said, Patrick, every time I pick against Tampa Bay, they're in the playoffs. So I am not making that mistake this year. I'm not doing it.
Remember that year I picked the Cubs, or I didn't pick the Cubs, and they won, and then I didn't pick the Cubs, and then they won, and then I picked the Cubs, and then they lost. I was like, oh God.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like me laying there and them just taking a dump on my chest, dude. Thanks.
Yep. I remember that, man. And then that next year they won the World Series. Is that
next year they did. You were like, man, this is their year. I was like, no way. I'm not picking the Cubs. Sweep. I'm not picking the Cubs. Sweep.
Yeah.
I got the Cubs. Got swept. I was like, it was like, remember how I used to pick Duke in basketball?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah. Courtney, you're going to learn a lot about our vengeful side.
I like it.
Yeah.
Right? It led to the most epic text I ever sent Charles in the world.
Yeah. Yes. So when Duke got knocked out by Mercer in the first round,
I had them going to the Final Four.
yeah, he said, I just got this text. I'm sitting here and I was like, man, Duke got knocked out. And then I get a text. It's from Patrick. It says, man, Duke sucks. Every time I pick these dudes, they mess me up. Duke sucks. All caps. Duke sucks.
So mad. So the next year, I don't pick them at all. I got them going out in the second round, and they almost win. I think they went to the Final Four or championship one. I was
I think
like,
they won.
they might have. I was like, man.
Beat Wisconsin because remember Kentucky was the strong team, and then Wisconsin knocked them out in the Final Four.
That's right. And then the next year, I picked them again, and they got put out in the second round. I was like,
sorry.
I was like, can't stand this team. So I don't pick them anymore. I just don't pick them anymore because I'll be 50-50. I won't be sad. I just won't be sad that Duke screwed my bracket. Anyway, what were we talking about? I'm sorry.
It's all right, man. We still on the baseball. Of course, we'll do a baseball playoff preview when it's time for the playoffs to start. But I mean, I guess what are you looking for this last month of the season, Patrick?
I'm hoping the Atlanta Braves just keep on doing what they're doing, man. They All-Star break, they were in third, about 6 or 7 games behind in third, and right now they're about 3.5 games in first. So, hoping that Acuna comes back strong next year. I don't know if I think they ruled him out for the year, didn't they?
Yeah, it tore his ACL.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. So with getting jobs and that filling that void, they have really been on a. They really look like the Atlanta team from last year.
The one we expected at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and Max Fried, dude, holy crap, dude, has he even lost a game yet? I think he's like 10-0.
Yeah, he's been elite. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in the Cy Young discussion.
Yeah.
He could have win it.
He is the truth right now, dude. So I hope Atlanta keeps doing what they're doing. To answer your question, if I see anybody knocking off the Dodgers, it's going to be one of those two teams, either the Giants or the Braves. That's who I would see.
The Giants, I like what they have, man, and getting Chris Bryant at that trade deadline, I think really solidified things. So you got Evan Longoria. He's on the injured list right now, but I think he'll be back in a week or so. And then you can solidify that lineup. You got Buster Posey in there. Their pitching has been a pleasant surprise. So
yeah, who would have thought that pitching was going to be that good this year?
I know, man. The Giants,
it was amazing.
And give Gabe Kapler, the manager, and give him some credit, man, because he got ran out of Philly. I mean, if Philly, he got the first thing smoking out of Philly.
Philly should not even be in a conversation, man. We know that is the city that throws everything.
Well, no, they don't. Patrick, they just threw basketball.
You put 2 games in a row, you're fired, bro.
Patrick, they just threw basketball. They don't throw every sport.
It is what it is, Charles. I'm just saying.
Did they throw hockey? Are they throwing hockey now?
It wouldn't surprise me if they did.
Okay.
But probably not, no. And they're really not throwing baseball right now, but you got to wait for them to get to the playoffs. Once they get to the playoffs,
okay.
Yeah. And then they'll throw it. Right. Well, hold on. We're not trying to expect anything out of here. I mean, just calm down.
Hey, they won a World Series in 2009, and according to your rules, that is in the threshold. But after 2009,
sometimes I love the fact that you know all these statistics, and then there's times where I just freaking hate it. Right? That are those times where I hate it.
You know what?
2010. It didn't happen before or after 2010. It's irrelevant now. There's a new rule.
Right. Oh, okay. You're changing the rule. Okay. You know, so that dookie look you gave me when I mentioned the Phillies World Series, that's the look Courtney gave me every day when I when when we were working at the ballpark, man. Look, I would come in there, I'm sitting there, I'm talking some mess, and Courtney would give me that dookie look like, Charles, not today. Not today.
He would come in and be like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes, he's not gonna start. That dude is a solid backup."
I did, yo. I was I was talking so much mess about Mahomes. I really was. But Patrick, so I
Well,
said
you ain't got nothing to say about it now.
Mahomes. Oh, I'm totally wrong now. I'll totally own that. Mahomes is a beast. Uh, but Courtney told me throughout. She said, "Don't be talking mess about my boy St. Patty Charles." I would come in there like, man, whatever, Courtney. He's gonna be a backup. He just got a strong arm. He got no pocket presence. He got a strong arm, but he's got no accuracy. It's going 20 rows into the stands. I would talk so much mess. And then he got the starting spot when Alex Smith got traded. MVP. MVP season. I think he threw 50 touchdown passes that year. So,
51, I think. I think it was like 50 and like 9.
Like 5 interceptions. Like it was like 50.
Yeah, it was something crazy. I thought it was like 50 and 9, but it might be 50 and 1. It wouldn't surprise me. That dude was he was balling that year.
Oh yeah.
He was nasty.
I had to send a text to Courtney and say, I was wrong, Courtney.
You did, and I appreciate it.
I wish they would have went and got Patrick Mahomes, but no, we stuck with Matt freaking Ryan. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the dude. Matt Ryan is a great guy.
Patrick, yeah, I'm not trying to bring up any bad memories, but 28-3. 28-3.
Bro.
Y'all had it.
Hey, that is Georgia's MO. We will beat you for 3 quarters and then totally let you have it in the 4th. We're generous. We're a generous state. We do not like we don't want to see everybody cry. Well, here you can have the Super Bowl. Okay? Here. Here, you want the SEC championship, Alabama? Here. There you go. That's what we do. We just give it back up that we can get back.
I feel a rant coming. We got to get out. All right, so
yeah, it's coming. It's boiling. I'm putting it on sound,
y'all,
but it's boiling.
That will wrap up this edition of the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. You guys, make sure y'all go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel and smash that subscribe button and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. Courtney, thanks for coming on here, having you on this show. I'm so happy to have you on here. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. Please come back again.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to come anytime. It was a good time.
Next week. All
right.
Yep. All right, y'all. Well, everybody else, y'all take care. We'll see you later on this week and enjoy the first week. Well, okay. Yeah, week 1. Enjoy week 1 of the college football season. Y'all take care. Hold us accountable for these picks that we have, and we will revisit this throughout the year. So y'all take care.
Go Dogs.
Hook 'em orange.
Wreck 'em.